Okay, so I put the Senna frame together that was CNC cut. Thank you, Noah. Looks like everything got done correctly, except for one little part. We were both tired. We were both rushed. No blame goes nowhere. This little guy right near here needs another notch in it. There's a little bitty piece that goes right across here, acts as a screw bar for this coin slot. No big deal. Just take a jigsaw. I'll be done. So here's all my 3D printed parts so far in their respective places. All the pockets that were cut out were pretty much just generic guidelines, I suppose. I'll have to line it up with the actual skins, which I have in that tall box back yonder. So I'll just take my Dremel, route it out. But the little pockets make good guides to show you where it does need to be routed. So I'll probably need to knock off a little bit of the top of that, a little bit of the bottom of that to get that nice and straight. So we have our speakers and vent, our charging port, coin return, coin slot, panels, side panel, rear side panels, a duplicate of this part right here will go back there, so it's basically the same, all the same back there. Octagon port, I'll have to have a second octagon port to go here. That's what this little cubby is for. And of course I am keeping the camera away from what y'all probably want to look at the most. That is the styrene dome. Actually it's ABS, a little bit tougher than styrene. And right here I have 3D printed R2's radar eye. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that was the second object I ever printed on my Wanhao i3. And let's see, I got one holoprojector. It's motorized, that will go right here, and of course I have the TISA sliding system, so that will go in these two windows here. Here there'll be a, let's see, light up point right there, and then of course the little kind of the mouth thingy of R2 right here. So so far so good. A whole lot of finishing work has to be done on the dome. I'm looking at it, and there's still even a little laser set that's going to have to be washed off before I start really hacking at it. So you even have to go down to the point where you have to take like a nail file to some of these parts to get them all nice and clean. But I've already found the paints that will work with this very well. This is vacuum formed from a aluminum version, and there are some very small minute little places in there where the vacuum former just kind of messed up, but I'm not going to even go over there with Bondo. I like that. It'll give it some good character. There's a little bit of orange peeling on the back where it's really smooth on the front. Hang on a sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is just barely sitting on top of my Senna frame. The ring here, this lip actually has to be cut off, and this lip right here has to be trimmed down, so this doesn't look anything like it's supposed to. I just have it on there conceptually, and that's that. And the rockler bearing, I think the rockler bearing that I'm actually using to spin this will be the one that I use for the dome. It's very smooth compared to the one that was made by well, it's not made by Granite Earth. They were just really nice to provide the club with an option where all the holes were pre-drilled. So what I may do with that is use that as my pattern for drilling. I'll show you what that looks like in the cut. Okay, now that I have the dome safely put up, this is the rockler bearing that the club provided. You got your countersunk holes and everything instead of the little nylon standoffs that you would see in a regular Lazy Susan bearing, rockler bearing. I think this one has a lot more friction in it than the VXB brand. It is smaller though, so I might end up using the VXB. I kind of like that. They'll both fit, and I can make it to where I can use the other one. And then, so I'm gonna put this up and call it a night. I've spent a lot of time routing this, getting it fairly smooth. I still see some burrs here that might need to be knocked out, but you need to take a little razor blade and a rasp or something to that, and then get this to where this fits nice and snug. I can see a little bit of looseness down here, so I'll have to take some ratchet cords and get that tightened up. But this needs to be done relative to the skin that goes over it. So probably going to be off to make the skin next. Looks fairly easy to do by hand. Probably don't have to rely on CNC, hopefully. Not terribly sure about that, but we'll see. Also, the holes that will be drilled for the legs depend on the skin, because the skin's got to line up and then you find your center of the circle. Put that through, and that's where your gas pipe goes, or your hub mount. I'll probably go with the gas pipe. Makes it easier to transport. I'm going to try 232 with a gas pipe. I don't know if it's ever been done before, but I'll try. Anyway, there's a very young R2.